Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is the Papa Joe Show, where Papa Joe knows uh, I am your host, Papa Joe. Sorry, I got something in my eye, anyways, how's it going? On the Papa Joe Show, you get the raw Papa Joe. We don't edit here. This is live. We have fun. It is what it is. We cover really cool stuff. Like today, we're going to be looking at some FUD that's coming down the pipe. Some more, we'll call it contagions, if you will, around what's going on in the overall crypto market. And I think all of this stuff is tied back to the push for the digital dollar, the CBDCs. So we're going to take a look at a couple different bankruptcy concerns slash more crazy, if you will, in the different overall crypto market. And I want you guys to understand this is all FUD. It's okay. It's okay. It's FUD, but it's part of what we're going to get into this. Here's the thing, you guys and gals need to understand: when you start to see mud thrown, rocks thrown, bullets thrown, whatever you want to call it. When you start to see that kind of stuff happen in a general area, it usually means that whatever they're doing is a positive thing and no one wants them to have it or do it. So we're going to take a look at that today. But before we do that, do me a favor. If you are new to the channel, consider giving us a subscribe. Helping the channel grow with subscriptions allows YouTube to know that the content here is worth y'all's time. And I really hope it is. I think it is. Honestly, wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't worth the time to do it. So um, some of you know that I do these types of things. I do the show because I really got tired of hearing all the different talking heads, if you will, in the crypto space talk about this coin or this exchange or that exchange and how to do this, that, and the other. It's like, guys and gals, y'all are thinking in dollar terms. The dollar is dead. Crypto is the exit strategy. So we're going to talk about some crazy, interesting things that's coming in the pipe. And at the end, I'm going to take a look at some of the charts and whatnot too. So listen, I appreciate everything y'all are doing. Those of you a part of the Patreon, a special thank you to you guys and gals. There's a really cool community of people there that have really taken the time and to get to know each other, and y'all are sharing some pretty cool stuff in that channel. We have a Telegram channel that's private to that Patreon, and all the other fun stuff that we talk about in the Patreon, where I take the gloves off and talk about subjects, kind of like what we're going to talk about this afternoon with I'm trying to, it's kind of timing is great, if you will. I would like to see what happens with the Supreme Court today. There's a very interesting case that's being, I think, discussed or voted on, or I don't know what they're going on with it. But if you're part of the Patreon, there's a lot of conversation going on in that chat. So check it out. It's not a lot. The reason I wanted to set it up is just to have a platform to take the gloves off. And if the plumbing ever gets destroyed, which it has several times, simply rework it, stand it up again, and y'all are still in there. It's just that simple. So anyhow, let's jump into the content, shall we? Bankrupt cryptocurrency lender Celsius Networks allegedly defrauded investors out of billions of dollars. It's funny how they use this picture on all their stuff. The good old CNN, right? CNN's an interesting conversation right now because they are historically liberal, but they've been very, very, very pointed, targeted on their attacks in the crypto market. So we're going to take a look at this because it's a mainstream thing, and this is what other people are saying, and I'm going to point some things out with it. The New York Attorney General filed a civil lawsuit Thursday against the co-founder of now bankrupt cryptocurrency lender Celsius Networks for allegedly defrauding hundreds of thousands of investors who deposited billions of dollars into the platform. The lawsuit against Alex Mashinsky, alleges he made false and misleading statements to encourage investors to place billions of dollars in digital assets in Celsius, which filed for bankruptcy court protection last year. Mashinsky resigned soon after. The lawsuit is the latest action against the high-profile figure in the cryptocurrency industry, which faced a reckoning last year amid volatility in the market. It comes as regulators warn banks and investors about their exposure to the unregulated industry. Yep. So New York is seeking damages, restitution, and disgorgement, whatever. Disgorgement? I actually don't know what that means. I'll have to look that one up. I heard that one. Sorry. As you can tell, this good old Papa Joe here sometimes needs more coffee in the morning than normal. I had a great night's sleep. However, I don't know. Just woke up. Just one of those things. You know, when your body just needs more sleep. Anyways, in addition, she is seeking a ban to ban Majinsky from doing business in New York or serving as an officer or director of a company. So she's like going after him personally. Interesting stuff. So another little note here, I want y'all to understand the reason I'm bringing this up and using this as a source is that there are still people out there, the normies, who read this and they are not going to touch cryptocurrency because people look at this and they go, oh, wow, they stole billions of dollars. I'm not touching that. Sounds great. Not touching that, except their whole system in the stock market and the dollar hidden in tax of inflation makes them sit there and go, I want that all day long. It's kind of why I started these stupid shows. Listen to me. These fantastic shows. I started these shows because really, guys and gals, I'm getting really tired of people thinking of the value of these things, these assets in dollars. They're not valued in dollars. How many houses can you buy with Bitcoin? How many bars of gold can you buy with Bitcoin? Cryptocurrency, the world over, the businesses, Polygon is a business, Divi is a business. They are providing a service. They're providing solutions to real world problems. Okay. Bitcoin is providing a solution to the banking industry, and they don't like it, and they can't touch it, and they can't fix anything. But I want y'all to understand something about Celsius, and y'all need to hear this, and I'm going to drive this home as much as I possibly can. Bad news for thousands of crypto investors. They don't own their accounts. They never did. And I tell you all the time, if they're not your keys, they're not your coins. If you don't self-custody, they are not your coins. There is one exception to that. And that is with Viva Capital. Viva Capital actually has the appropriate method to, if you will, custody your cryptos. Because they don't hold them themselves. There's a third party. They offer products, they're investment products, and they offer insurance that you can add onto the accounts. If, God forbid, anything ever happened, you'd still be made whole. In the regular case like this, though, with Celsius, Coinbase, Kraken, all of these other exchanges or custodies type of accounts, guess what? They're not insured. They're not. There's no regulation around any of the partners or any of the connections there. There is nothing at all protecting you, the investor, at the end of the day. Nothing. Okay. However, with like Viva, there are very, very significant things that are in place to protect the end customer. And that's one of the reasons I actually like what they're doing. They're doing good things. Anyways, enough about that. When it says they don't own their accounts, a judge rules that Celsius owned their money. Okay. The judge ruled that Celsius owns their money. The news comes from New York State Attorney General files a as the New York State Attorney General, which we just talked about, filed a lawsuit against the collapsed crypto fund. You know why that happened? Do you ever read the fine print of the terms of use or the contracts of these exchanges or really anything? You need to do that. Because when you do that, you will find that they're using your information, your data for all kinds of things just off the bat. And then the highest bidder gets to use, they get to use it to sell things and create these types of portfolios about you as an individual. That's a different discussion for a different day. However, when it comes to cryptocurrency exchanges or platforms, when in the event of a bankruptcy, guess what happens? We're going to read here. More than 500,000 people who have deposited money with a collapsed lender or crypto lender Celsius network have been dealt a major blow to their hopes of recovering their funds, which they never will. And here's why. And this is what's going to happen across the board. This is setting a precedence, and y'all need to understand this. This is why I say do not leave your coins on an exchange. I'm not giving you financial advice. This is security. This is a way of living your life. Okay? Don't leave them on the exchange. Get a crypto-only device. Or if you're uncomfortable with that, look into Vivo. Grab some time with me. There are links in the description of the video. and I will walk you through how to protect your funds and get them off exchanges and keep them safe. Okay? Please, if you don't understand or don't know how or anything like that, please, that's why I set the company up, is to just help people. I would rather, I mean, honestly, if you spent I don't even know, if you spent $150 or $250, $300, like $1,000 to protect hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, I mean, that's a no-brainer in my mind. It really is. Anyways, I'm gonna continue on here. All right, so that they cannot recover their funds, with a judge in the company's bankruptcy case ruling that the money belongs to Celsius and not the depositors. And they point out the terms of use. The judge, Marty Glenn, found that the Celsius terms of use, the lengthy contracts that many websites publish but few customers read, meant the cryptocurrency assets became Celsius property. Coinbase is the same. Kraken's the same. They're all the same. Gemini, every one of them. They're all the same. If you have coins on deposit within the exchange, in the event of a bankruptcy, they become the platform's money. They own them. It's part of the terms of use, and you accepted them. If you have your coins there, you accepted those terms of use. And guess what happens if there's a bankruptcy? You no longer have your coins because you signed them away to them. That's the case that's being made here in this Celsius and bankruptcy. Anyone who had money with them, I'm sorry. It's gone. It is actually gone. There is no way you can get it back. I'm sorry. FTX is not going to be any prettier. None. Oh man. I feel for people, man. I feel for everyone who's done this stuff, who's been involved in these things. It sounds great on the surface, but you got to realistically look at it. Okay. And this is just getting worse. The reason I'm tired of this one, FUD, is because everything that is any news feed at all is bad crypto bad, and they do all these different things, and they're showing all these different things, and they're giving all these different opinions about how crypto's bad. I mean, here's another example right here. Huobi. I can't even, probably not pronouncing that right. Huobi. Crypto exchange Huobi or Huobi, whatever, to reportedly lay off 20% of its staff as industry reels from FTX collapse. CNBC, major news outlet. What's this one? Washington Post, major news outlet. CNN Business, major news outlet. Right? Okay, it's all FUD. The Seychelles-based, I guess that's how you say that, company is one of the largest crypto exchanges globally, handling about $370 million of trading volumes on a single day, according to data from CoinGecko. Huobi's native HT token at one point sank as low as $4.33 on Friday, down from more than 7% from 24 hours prior. It's a pretty big drawdown. It comes as floods of investors have piled out of central exchanges after the FTX collapse, which is fantastic. Great, but they're going to spin this as it's a bad thing. Watch out for the exchange. Watch out for it's not a good idea, blah, blah, blah. The reason they're literally, read it here. Digital currency exchange Huobi on Friday reportedly said it plans to reduce its global headcount by 20% in the latest round of layoffs to hit the crypto industry. Sorry, my phone's going nuts over here. The Huobi is one of the largest crypto exchanges globally, handling about $370 million in trading volumes in a single day, according to that data. We already read that there. Sorry about that. So everyone's freaking out. This whole thing is saying something to the effect of, are they going to have bankruptcy? Is there going to be a bankruptcy? What's going to happen? Well, here's the thing. All of these exchanges, Coinbase is no different. Any of these exchanges, Binance, all of them. People are getting wise. Thank God, finally. and they're pulling the cryptos out of the exchanges and they're self-custodying, and they're pulling them into, I hope, a crypto-only device and not your daily device. If you don't understand what that means, schedule time with me and we'll talk about how to do that. Seriously, if there's something this important for me, I go and spend the investment, which is usually significantly smaller than the investment that's in it, to just learn how. If there's educational material around there, the reason I don't produce educational material around this stuff, if you will, other than the shows here, is because everyone's different. Every scenario is different. Every situation is different. And it just causes confusions. I tried and it just caused more confusion. Well, what if in this case? And what in this case? And what in this case? You can't cover every case. So I just do a one-on-one consultation, or you and your husband, you and your wife, you and your family member, whatever. Grab some time and I'll walk you through hand holding, whatever you want to call it, how to make sure it happens appropriately and safely. People get very, very, very timid about, is they're very used to going onto an exchange and buying it and letting it sit there. They have no idea how to take it off, and they can. And anyways, so this is yet another wonderful piece of FUD. Guess what else is happening? Gemini's Winklevosses, excuse me, accuses crypto Mongol Silbert of bad faith stalling tactics over frozen funds. Wait a minute, what? Yeah, in an open letter, Gemini President Cameron Winklevoss accused digital currency grouper, DCG, CEO Barry Silbert of engaging in bad faith stalling tactics. Gemini is attempting to recoup $900 million of client funds, which it lent to digital currency group subsidiary Genesis to generate yields for its interest-bearing Gemini earning accounts. After FTX filed for bankruptcy, Gemini paused redemptions for Gemini Earn, as Genesis Global Capital also suspended new loan or originations and redemptions. There's an even bigger piece of the puzzle here, y'all. Gemini is a really big exchange. Huobi's a really big exchange. Celsius was a big deal. They're centralized platforms. Cameron Winklevoss, co-founder and president of digital Cameron Winklevoss, co-founder and president of digital currency exchange Gemini, accused the head of crypto conglomerate Digital Currency Group of engaging in bad faith tactics, but insists he wants to resolve a complex lending dispute with the company that emerged in the wake of FTX collapse. The spat arises from a pact Gemini has with Genesis Global Capital, the lending arm of crypto investment firm Genesis Global Trading, is a subsidiary of Digital Currency Group. Gemini offered users yields as high as 8% via its lending product, Gemini Earned. To generate, the little thing at the top here, McCarthy is about to lose his 12th straight vote for speaker, but picks up a new support. Guys and gals, it's going to be interesting. Just tune into the Patreon. If you're not part of the Patreon, get part of the Patreon. We're going to have some fun this afternoon. All right, so they offered 8% via its lending product, Gemini Earn. To generate those returns, Gemini lent users funds to Genesis Global Capital, which it in turn loaned them out to institutional borrowers. Really? Okay, interesting. A few days after FTX filed for bankruptcy, Gemini paused redemptions for its Gemini Earn services. And we read this just a second ago. Gemini has denied any exposure to Sam Bankman-Fried's crypto empire. But Genesis said on November 10th tweet that its derivatives business has roughly $175 million in funds locked inside FTX. So they are exposed. Winklevoss's on Monday penned an open letter to digital currency group boss Barry Silbert, alleging Silbert refused to meet with the Gemini team on multiple occasions to find a resolution to the liquidity crisis facing clients of Gemini Earn. Oh, the fun. He wrote, in the past 6 weeks, we have done everything we can to engage with you in a good faith to collaboratively, or to collaboratively, whatever, in a collaborative, manner in order to reach a consensual agreement, resolution for you to pay back the $900 million that you owe while helping you preserve your business. Winklevoss said in the letter, which was tweeted publicly on Monday, we appreciate that there are startup costs to any restructuring, and at times things don't go as fast as we would like. However, it's now becoming clear that you have been engaging in bad faith stall tactics. Don't even meet with them. Makes you really wonder, guys. Interesting thing about Digital Currency Group, who owes Genesis, Digital Currency Group owes Genesis $1.675 billion. The debts consist of $575 million liability due on May 2023 and $1.1 billion promissory note Genesis issued to Three Arrows Capital, which Digital Currency Group absorbed following the controversial group hedge funds collapse. It's about to get very ugly, guys and gals, in these different areas. And yet all they're trying to do is spread FUD. FUD. That's all they're trying to do. Get this. Cryptocurrency bank Silvergate has lost 68% of its digital deposits. People are withdrawing their funds. It's fantastic to see. Here's what we know about its predicament. The bank shored up liquidity as institutions in the digital currency industry scrambled to lower risks. Following the flow of high-profile collapses in the virtual currency industry last year, Silvergate Capital Corporation on Tuesday surprised investors with some startling fourth quarter numbers 2 weeks early. People are pulling their coins off the exchanges and their self-custody. It's great. The company's pre-market release set up a decline as much as 49% for its stock, reversing a 27% increase a day earlier, which heavily shorted stocks in the crypto space rallied. Silvergate's, I guess they're publicly traded ticker, whatever, shares are now down 85% from a year earlier. The news came after a bruising year for the crypto industry, including the bankruptcy of FTX, the collapse of BlockFi, the fraud charges against the founder of Celsius. You see how this is going? It looks like it's a bank. They do hold crypto assets or let you hold their assets there as a custodian. People pulling their crypto out of it to self-custody isn't necessarily a bad thing, but they have other things that they do as a banking institution, okay? So the thing about Silvergate is that they help facilitate the transfer of funds out of regular US dollars into crypto and vice versa, but on large, I'm talking like hundreds of millions of dollar transactions, okay? Or more, billions. All right. That's kind of an interesting little tidbit of information. Silvergate is also in some ways connected to FTX, if I'm not mistaken. They were the bank used for Alameda. Yeah. So y'all do your research. I'm just giving y'all some information. Check it out. Silvergate connection here isn't necessarily. I think Silvergate's going to probably end up getting shot in the foot with this whole thing too. January 5th press release. Silvergate cautioned that the limited set of numbers it released were unaudited and subject to change per the normal course of preparing for fourth quarter financial statements. The full release is scheduled on January 17th, so we're a few days away. Here's a snapshot. The bank had $3.8 billion in digital deposits as of December 31st, down 68% from the $11.9 billion as of September 30th. You'll understand, people have pulled their coins off of the out of custody accounts, which is fine. There's nothing wrong as long as they're holding it themselves. Cool, and it's great that it's staying in crypto. It's not going into dollars, which is pretty cool to see. Anyhow, they broker deposits doubled to 2.4 billion as of December 31st from 1.2 billion as of September 30th. These are certificates of deposits gathered through brokerage firms. Okay. Total deposits declined 53% to $6.2 billion as of December 31st from $13.1 billion as of September 30th. Silvergate said that about $150 million of its total deposits were from customers who have filed for bankruptcy. In other words, institutional firms like FTX, Celsius, Three Arrows Capital, I don't know, to name a few, have pulled money out of it just because they filed for bankruptcy. Y'all understand what's going on here, okay? Silvergate's a bank. They do fiat and crypto. All right. They're getting hit hard from all this thing. You know why this is all happening? Care to guess? Show of hand? Anybody? Anybody? Throw it in the chat. Why is it happening? Why is all the FUD happening? Because the digital dollar is coming on the back of the FTX collapse. Yep. The arrest of CEO Sam Bankman-Fried may be the smaller news story coming out of the collapse of FTX. Politicians will miss the point surrounding the massive political donations. Oh, I'm sure they will. From the company, and instead push for simplistic solutions to complex issue. Really? They created the problem, then they're gonna have a solution. We have never heard that before, have we? Tell you what, y'all. Ultimately, the collapse of the crypto company could lead to the Federal Reserve regulations, bad regulations, and the establishment of a federal digital dollar. The FTX issue isn't large enough under normal circumstances to push through such a dramatic banking and financial changes, but it is clear that those in the Federal Reserve and many in Congress have been salivating for such changes for years. This could be a fig leaf to justify it. Let's see here. There was one other little thing here I wanted to point out why this is such a bad idea. A digital dollar will enable a near total control of each person's transactions. It will. This would extend far further than a Internal Revenue Service's $600 income rule, which they decided to pause. You don't have to worry about it this year for some reason. Who knows? Whatever. Anyway, and could have massive impacts on taxation, earnings, and privacy. Privacy. The ability to instantly track, catalog, and scrutinize every person's transaction is a dystopian nightmare. I have said this ever since I heard the term CBDC. Considering the relative efficiency of the IRS, it is entirely probable that the agency could send out audit letters to people for Venmoing their friends back for their share of a restaurant bill or taxi ride. You understand? You go to a restaurant, you got like 10 people at a table, it could be several $1,000s. You split it certain ways, you may end up having to pay taxes or tell the IRS about your dinner meal. Great. Furthermore, the digital dollar likely will coincide with the gradual abolishment of physical cash. There may be some ability to keep small denominations or amounts, but if the transaction mimics Franklin Roosevelt's executive order of 6102 banning most private ownership of gold, your financial anonymity would be at risk. You'll see what's happening here. What happens when there's another trucker protest? Does it look like you're buying? Yeah, look at this. Listen to this. Listen to this. Who in Washington wouldn't support the end of traditional cash? There will be plenty of politicians and pundits who extol the advantages and end to counterfeiting, both domestic and funding rogue nation states or states such as North Korea. An effective end to traditional money laundering. Really? And difficulty for criminals to pay for drugs. It also could be used to track questionable purchases and donations. Now, where have y'all heard that before? Pew pews. You already have one. You're not allowed to have another one. They actually point something out like that in just a second. It also can be used to track questionable purchases and donations. Does it look like you're buying cocaine? Or illegal pew pews? You're tracked. What about donating to the Canadian truckers the next time there's a protest? After all, it's happened before. Donate to the wrong political cause. Perhaps your information is leaked. These are all events that have modern day problems associated to them. Do y'all see why CBDCs are bad? You see why all this crap is happening and all these things are collapsing? It's to bring this in. Everything's connected, guys. Everything's connected. Crypto, Bitcoin seems to be finding some sort of support here. Of course, the Dow's up, the Nasdaq's up, the SP 500's up. Gotta love it. Gold's up and silver's up. Divi is down, but it spiked pretty good yesterday or the day before. Okay. Matic is kind of doing something similar. We'll see what happens. I didn't even see that spike. That's crazy. Actually, really jumped. Look. It's going to be very interesting as we get into this year. The world is going to find out just how rough things are going to be, how important digital assets are, as long as we maintain our privacy of them. Crazy stuff coming, y'all. Gloria, good morning, good afternoon. How are you? Appreciate you being part of the show. Really do appreciate it. What's going on, Mr. UI Fang? How are you today, brother? It's good to see you, man. John Gibson, appreciate you being here, dude. Good to see you. Got Bitcoin Bull in the house. What is up? Good morning, all. Is Nancy McCarthy still trying to be? Yeah, he is. We'll talk about that this afternoon, I believe. I wanted to see how some things took place on a couple of things, and I may or may not have the information I want for the show, but we're still going to talk about it. Not talking about it here. It's a bad idea. Lithia, what's going on? Good morning. How are you today? Thanks for being here today. Let's see what's going on. I'm a Divi, just getting started this year. Downloaded the wallet on a family member's phones. Good to hear, brother. Good to hear. Yeah, Divi's boy, Divi's gonna have a pretty good year, I think. What's going on, Trini man? How you doing, brother? Hopefully you and your family are doing well. What's going on, Busy Mountain? It's good to see you, brother. Thanks for being here today. Let's see, where are we? All right, cool. I gotta run to a meeting here. There's Patreon this afternoon, 4:30 Eastern. Check it out. Would appreciate it if you joined. It does help the channel out. And y'all share this out to everyone. People need to understand what's going on and why. I'm just connecting dots. I'm really good at that. Anyways, y'all have a great rest of the day. Be blessed, and we'll talk to you soon. Take it easy.